It's no accident that sounds like you're leveling up in a video game. 48% of 18 to 29-year-olds have an online dating profile.
Make them work for it.
45% of people say they're more frustrated with this form of dating than hopeful.
There are so many people you can connect with.
Should I swipe right?
Swipe wrong. Swipe wrong. Setting the record straight on dating apps. Everyday people telling everyday stories of the swipe right world with your host, Koss.
Well, I know he had a good time.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and of course, good night. You guys know how it goes by now. Welcome to the Swipe Wrong podcast. I am your host. I am that guy. You guys know nobody likes to be that guy. I guess I'll be that guy. I am Koss. Welcome to the #1 podcast amongst people who have touchdown celebrations like they're getting arrested, I guess. I don't know if Tyreek Hill does watch or listen to the show or not, but I'm going to roll with it. We're going to roll with #1. I hope you guys are doing amazing and have an awesome week. Welcome to the show. Please follow, like, subscribe, tell your friends about it. The nice thing about the show is it's ebb and flow. Like there's definitely times when we are blowing up and there's times when we're getting blown up, and that's all right. The book is out there, by the way. The book has now been published. There's two of them. One is out, one is about to be out. If you want to check it out on Amazon, it's out there for Kindle, it's out there for hardcover and paperback. It's first one is really some of the stories that we've heard and some of the experiences, and something that we call the dating cycle. Then the other one's more of a how-to, and that one's about to drop. So you can check those all out on Amazon, and if you want to get a copy, by all means, they're there for you. Not a bad read, you know. Like I do believe the things that I've heard is I need to hear this show to get the full scale of it. Anyway, but tell your friends about it. If you need to talk about it, if you need to if you need to get some stuff off your chest and you want to share, please give us a call, 317-426-6616. Shoot a text. I want everybody's story. I guess I don't think I have emphasized that enough. I think I emphasize it a lot, but I don't think I emphasize that enough. New episode dropping. And you guys have seen that we've cycled through some older episodes. That's strategic. If you've heard them already and you're hearing them again, it's not just for the sake of a replay. It's also for the sake of us to get them up to the YouTube channel in a format that is easy to listen to or watch. And Jay's just doing amazing things. The guy, check out the Musician's Playbook. He put that together. He does just awesome stuff, awesome work altogether. But the format helps anybody who wants to take a look at it on YouTube. And a lot of it was back before that we were recording video to get up there. So we want everybody to have all the experience possible. This week, somebody I've talked to before, she's amazing. She does her own podcast, Rising with Phoenix Grace. She's busy. She's killing it. She's doing some awesome stuff. Disclaimer for this week, we really talk a lot about DPs, and I'll just say it that way. And I think you know the acronym by now if you listen to the show. She was quite bombarded with them, and they were a topic that her and I kind of joke about, and it carried over in the show. I was recording for her show, she was recording for this one, so you can check the same thing out on both sides. But you guys know how it goes by now, right? Sit back, relax, put your feet up, grab your popcorn, get it buttered if you want to get it buttered. If you don't want to get it buttered, it's okay. It's a lot healthier if you don't, but healthy and popcorn really don't go together. If you're in traffic, please do not hit that person next to you. I want you to be careful. I want you to drive safe. I want you to enjoy yourself. And enjoy this episode with Rising with Phoenix Grace, part 2.
Disclaimer: the views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the speaker and do not necessarily reflect the views or opinions or any entities they represent. This podcast is about dating experiences. It is not to say one dating app is better or worse than another.
It's like I got to go through. It's like
the Matrix. I got to go through 6 different levels to get this damn thing and record all of a sudden. I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, all right. So
And then I
anyway.
took a break for so long that now there's all these new features and they moved all the buttons and
Well, I feel like I just entered a Friends episode. We were on a break. We were on a break. That's what I'm hearing in my head.
well, that's kind of perfect too, because I literally, the last time we did this, I was either like in the middle or I was coming off of a like 90-day no dating journey. And so when we had our conversation, I had to like dig back into like the archives. And I'm pretty sure it was actually the weekend we recorded, I got back on the apps. And shit just went crazy.
I was gonna say, like, welcome to the shit show. Like, that's kind of what happened. Like, because you and I talked about it a lot, obviously, and I was like stunned.
So but this is how, like, so now we're again like 90 days. So this will happen, like this was May and June.
Okay.
So I actually went back through our messages because I knew that I had told you more than anybody about what was going on. So I could literally think of, because I was like, well, what am I going to talk about? Like, what really happened? I was like, okay, like I kind of remember this and I kind of remember that. And then I started looking through all of our messages and I was like, oh yeah. Oh, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, actually, I just remembered another one.
Oh my God. Yeah.
So
it was so much fun stuff. I mean, not for you to go through. I guess I shouldn't say it like that, but I'm just sitting there going like, so much unbelievable stuff. How's that? That's a better way for me to put it.
I think that I really was hoping coming off of my dating sabbatical that I had kind of dealt with some of my shit. I knew what I wanted. I knew what I could handle. And it was we talked about this. You helped me with my bio. It was very straightforward. Basically, like, I want a friends with benefits. I don't want to just be booty called. You can treat me like I'm a human being. Yeah. I'm a single mom. Like, don't waste my time, basically. And I didn't feel like that was too much to ask. But apparently it was like an Olympic gold medal earning responsibility to ask somebody.
What tripped you out the most? Like that to me, like if I see something like that and I'm a guy and it's what I'm looking for too, that seems so straightforward. It seems so easy. It's like, oh, sure, that's cool. Let's go hang out, see if we vibe. If we vibe, then we'll figure out where to go and kind of go from there. But that was not the case, was it?
No.
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 I think the thing that baffled me the most, which was honestly probably 90% of the messages between you and me, was the all talk and no action.
Right.
Was them wanting to get their rocks off solo rather than with another person. And that was so confusing to me. One of the first guys, first weekend I got back on this, I matched with this guy. And again, also just like not miscommunication, but like little lies, I guess. So he said that he had moved there for the summer.
Okay.
I was like, okay, cool. Like if we can't meet up tonight or tomorrow, because I didn't have my kid those 2 nights, and like we can meet up sometime during the week, afternoon delight, whatever. So we had messaged all day, all these, promises of what he was going to do and expectations and dirty talk and all of this. And I was like, okay, yeah, I'm about it. I was ovulating, it was go time, and it'd been 90 days. Like, let's do this. And so the day goes on. He's doing a bachelor party. Okay. So he's with his dudes all day. He's been drinking all day. Okay, whatever. My girlfriends and I go out that night. We're still messaging back and forth. Finally, my girl, she's been sipping on whiskey, so she gets super feisty, and she's like, let's just fucking go over there. I will hang out with his friends. You can go boom, boom, pow. We'll go home. I want this for you, which everyone should have a fucking friend like that.
For sure.
He was willing to go hang out with a bunch of married dudes, so the one single dude can.
And she called it boom, boom, pow. Is that what she called it?
That's what I call it.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. That's going in. Yeah. I'm going to have to put that in the repertoire. Yeah. Boom, boom, pow.
Some black-eyed peas. It was something I used to say to my roommate in my 20s is he would bring these random girls home and I'd be like, oh, did you boom boom pow? Like that. I don't know. That's where nickname, honestly, that's where I started nicknaming people, was all these random chicks he would bring home.
I got you.
So, like the chick whose like bra was stuffed in the couch. I was like, oh, how was 34C last night? So that's where the nickname started apparently. But anyway, so this guy, Hot Josh, we call him on our way home and Emily is doing the talking and she's hilarious. And she's basically just like, no, we're coming. And he's like, no, I don't think it's a good idea. Like, I don't think my friend's going to appreciate that. And
wow.
And we're like, what kind of friends do you have?
Right.
So we go home, get into bed, whatever. I'm thinking maybe the next day, it's Sunday. I still don't have my kid. I have to work a little bit, whatever. So this was the beginning of like the dick pic apocalypse. Like,
Oh, that's right.
I don't even know what we call it at this point. So I wake up the next morning, I have a message from him and because it tells you the last message they sent, right?
Right.
So all it says is, I woke up like this. Okay. I'm thinking he's hungover. There was a bunch of drunk guys, like who, I don't know. I was thinking it's going to be like a silly picture dick.
Boom. Well, and so like this is also sending to you the night after. He's like, no, I can't hook up with you tonight, but hey, I know what you'll like this morning, right? I mean,
Here's my dick.
Yeah, here you go. This is what I had last night, and I said no with this. Okay, fair enough.
And I wish I hadn't deleted the messages because it'd be really funny to go back through them because I was a total bitch to him. I literally wrote back, isn't that how you wake up every day? And I don't remember like the rest of it, but it literally, I wasn't like, so all of this makes me think of, if nobody has seen this part in Forgetting Sarah Marshall, you can literally Google it and it's Forgetting Sarah Marshall doctor's office scene or something like that. So he goes to go get his dick checked out at the doctor at this pediatrician's office because he'd been sleeping with all these chicks trying to get over this heartbreak. And he's like, doctor, can you just take a look at my dick? Can you just make sure it's okay? And then doctor goes, it's a good looking dick, Peter. It's a good looking dick. And so I sent him that. I sent him that. I said, this is what girls think whenever we get one of these pictures. It's a good looking dick. It's a good looking dick. Like, what do you want us to do with that?
It's so funny you say that because I think just within the past 3 days, I put a YouTube short on YouTube, but I pulled it from when we talked before. And it was the cat and dead mouse analogy. So yeah, so now we've got the forget setting Sarah Marshall analogy too, which will turn itself into a short in no time at all. I guarantee that.
Yeah. And so it was just like, and I mean, I think in the course of the next 24 hours, he had sent like 3 or 4 more. And this is again with no encouragement from me. Wow. There was no, oh baby, yes, oh da da da. There was all this talk again. And so I finally was like, cool. I go to work at this time this morning. I'm done at this time. I'll come over. And he's like, well, I'm going back home. And I'm like, what do you mean you're going back home? You said you moved here for the summer. And he's like, well,
Oh, fuck.
So I think we continued this game for like 3 weeks. But after the first couple of days, I got my kid back. And I literally had to send a message, which I don't really feel like anybody should have to, that said, hey, my kid comes home today and sometimes she gets my phone. So please stop sending me dick pics.
No kidding.
Because I don't want to have to try to explain this to my 6-year-old.
Right. Don't tell me he kept sending.
Oh, he did. And I also put out the request, whatever, of don't tell me anything else that's dirty and all these things you're going to do to me until I actually meet you in person.
Right.
Put your money where your mouth is. Or
right.
Put your mouth where your money is. However you want to use
you had it right the first time. You had the saying right the first time.
Yeah, but I feel like, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, I understand. He should put his mouth where your money is probably what you were more looking for. But I got you.
And so and it was, again, didn't listen. God, so finally, kidding. I think like 2-3 weeks, and this was the other thing too, is he lived 2 hours away.
Oh, wow.
He was like, why don't you just come down for the afternoon?
Oh, yeah. Right.
And I was like, huh? I've never met you in person. You want me to drive 2 hours, possibly have sex with you, and then drive 2 hours home? Are you going to give me some gas money?
Yeah, it like not only that, but like I was ready to like you're got to be thinking I was ready to come over and see you when you were whatever 20 minutes away or whatever it was, and you like totally like backed out of it. Like, and now you want to do this? I got no faith that you're going to be okay with it.
No. So I think after 10 or 12 dick pics, I finally just blocked and deleted
God,
them.
jeez. There's not even that many angles. You can't make it like, I mean, it's not like you're going to throw it in some sort of like, here's my dick in a piñata. Here it is in a suit. I mean, it's not like a thumb wrestling machine. How many different ways can it look? Here's it next to a water bottle so you know what size it is. Like you can't like 12. Good. I'm going to send you the picture, but say no to the act. That's so, that's so much of this blows me away. Like so much of it blows me away. I'm going to keep sending you pictures, but hey, I'm going to keep finding every reason not to. Like I know we talked about this over text, but what do you think the reason was behind it?
I have no idea. I'm so confused by I'm just so confused because I feel like there's a lot of pressure put on, oh, she didn't want to have sex with me. Oh, she doesn't want to hook up, yada, yada. I feel like it's this like double standard-ish kind of thing too and we had talked about this too of like, am I coming on too strong? Is there not a chase? Is there, and the only thing I could think of when it came to like the talking dirty and nothing happening was maybe like the only thing I can think of is like they knew they couldn't actually deliver.
Yeah, I was thinking performance anxiety. That's what came to me. It's
Either
like,
that or going that extra step was just too much effort.
yeah, I mean, it could be, but the effort's worth it. Like you see guys riding their tricycle in snow to go get some. I mean, I've never seen it, but I'm sure it's happened. But like the only thing that came to mind, well, two things came to mind. One was like, all right, I'm not going to be very good, and then I'm going to have to live with that. That's a real thing for a lot of guys. Or two, he already had somebody and couldn't go all the way.
Mm-hmm.
Those the two that came to mind, I think, when we were talking about it, and just when I've seen stuff like that before. But 12 picks, really?
I think it was at least that. I actually just thought I was like, oh, I had a group chat with two of my girlfriends when all this was happening, and I should have gone through that before our call. I just went through me and yours messages because
the fact that it's over 7 or whatever, it's crazy.
It was a lot. It was a lot. So I had already kind of started getting, I was getting annoyed. I was like, okay, like that wasn't great, whatever. And then I was talking to 3 different guys that weekend. So he was number 1. Number 2, like very, I don't even say like love bomby, but very like called me sweetheart after a few messages, blah, 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 and then just disappeared. Okay, bye. And then the other guy was just weird. Like he kept sending these messages, and I was like, maybe he's trying to be funny. I don't know if I sent you any of his. I'll send some after. But there were just like these things that I'm like, I don't, maybe he's trying to be funny. Maybe he's just terrible at texting. There were so many things he would send me that I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? So kind of the same thing happened eventually. And on my profile, it very clearly stated, I am moving to Hawaii in July. That was like line number 2.
Right.
So he found out I was moving, and he was like, oh, am I even going to get to meet you? And I was like, well, yeah, like let's do something on Tuesday night or something. And then Tuesday, and he's like, sounds great, blah, blah, blah. Tuesday rolls around. I didn't hear from him. And I don't remember how exactly the last conversation went with him, but all I remember is it came down to him just literally sending me a text and says, well, I have a big dick.
Just from out of kind of nowhere, like you were talking about the weather and then that showed up.
I mean, I think we were just kind of talking about like I was getting ready to leave, and like I wasn't really looking for anything serious or something, and then it was just like boom, I got a big dick. I'm pretty sure I literally sent something back along the lines of congratulations.
There you go. There you go. That's such a great response.
Like,
That's
I don't, so it was like, I feel like by the end of like being back on the apps for 2 weeks, I was already like dicked out, but like not in a good way.
yeah, I know, right? Like you're not getting all of the sex that you want to be dicked out. You're getting all of the pictures that you don't want, and now you're
I'm not
dicked out
getting
in a bad way.
anything.
Yeah.
I'm not getting any, like one of the things that I really had wanted was just like for somebody to come up and like give me like a hug from behind and like hold me for a couple minutes. Like it's been a real rough couple of years. Like I just needed some like comfort. And it was like, I'm not even getting hugged. I'm not getting my hand held. I'm not getting anything. I'm just, and don't get me wrong. Like me and my girlfriends, like we love talking about dicks, but like, I don't want to, I don't like, this is too much. It's too much dick.
Right.
It's too much dick without dick.
Like that is the like I'm sorry, but the way you're saying it just makes me laugh. I'm sorry, but it's too much dick it's just too much dick. There's just too much dick. It makes me laugh.
Too much. And that's what ended up to me getting back off of it. So it took me 3 weeks. I was on it for 3 weeks before I finally got a date. This guy, same thing, started talking dirty. And I said, nope, I don't want to talk dirty until we're meeting up, until we know something's happening. So I set my parameters with a 20-year span. I went 10 years younger and I went 10 years older because I was like, maybe the young ones aren't so fucked up. And maybe the old ones have finally dealt with their shit. So this guy was 10 years older than me, close to 50. We go meet up. He proceeds to literally just talk about himself for like 45 minutes.
Good God.
I'm trying to think of like how to even get out of there. Like I am not amused. I'm not having fun. Finally, it's over. He walks me to my car. I can tell he's going to try to go in for a kiss. I don't allow it. And he was just like, I had such a great time with you. And I was just like, what?
Yeah.
I'm glad you had a great time. And so I drove home. I wasn't even all the way home. And he had sent me a text like, oh, I had such a great time. I hope I get to see you again. And I literally just had to send back the like, yeah, this is not. Sorry.
Yeah. No bad.
Yeah. So I was like, okay. I'm like,
don't you just feel like in that scenario though, like you're just like, okay, tell me 5 things about me. Just tell me any 5 things about me. Like you had a great time. What'd you learn about me? Oh, that's right. Nothing. Like, doesn't that feel like you should like somewhere along those lines?
Oh, I'm going to keep that for next time. If there is a next time. God damn. I
was like, hold on. Like, listen, I'm not cheering for that, but yeah, I mean, like, tell me anything you learned about me. Anything. Yeah. Just 4 things. I learned you got a pretty mouth, and he goes all deliverance on you. I learned, I mean, that's about it. It would all be cosmetic features. It wouldn't be, I learned that you just moved out here from Michigan, whatever, Yeah. Anything like that.
Yeah. It just baffled. And then I get like, I was like, okay, like if you're nervous or if you're, like I can kind of tell that. And I understand that, to an extent, but it's also like, I just wasn't attracted to him. Like once I saw him in person, I'm a very big teeth person. That wasn't great. So
Amen.
Yeah. So then like that happened. I'm like, I'm looking through my notes.
It's okay. It's okay.
So then I got a younger guy. And this one I was really excited about. And I will say this, Lise, I found that this was such a great first meetup thing is we went and shot hoops. We met up at a basketball court at a park. I haven't played basketball in like 15 years. My ex hated it, so we never went and did it, but I love it. And it was such a great way to meet somebody.
Yeah.
Because you're talking, but you don't have to be like staring directly at each other. You miss a shot, you give each other shit. It was banter, it was playful. It took that pressure off of just sitting next to one another.
Well, can I ask this? Like, did you play basketball like once upon a time, or you just enjoyed the atmosphere of it?
No, I just enjoy the atmosphere of it.
All right, cool.
Yeah, I grew up playing a lot of like horse and pig and with like the neighbor kids.
So
you
played a little bit. Okay, so you
and like in like high school and like gym class. I wasn't allowed to do sports. So but yeah, so it was this great thing. And I brought up the dick pics because there's just amount of honesty when you're not looking to like marry somebody or start a relationship with somebody that you can have a little bit more honesty on like a first date than you could with somebody that you're wanting more long-term with. And so we're just putting all of our cards on the table, and, you know, and he had asked me something and I started talking about the dick pics. And I love the way he said it too. He said, the only time a girl wants to see a dick is when it's coming at her.
It's fair.
And I was like, that is correct.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like,
I haven't heard that before.
Like, you're in a relationship with somebody and it's, you know, there's, I don't know.
Sure. You're in the mood. Like, there's a mood setting to it. There isn't like, hey, pass the ketchup. What's this on my phone? There's that. Yeah, sure.
It's really sunny outside today. Here's my dick.
Yeah. It's a really big dick. Yeah. Yeah.
Got a big dick.
Totally.
So, oh, okay. Okay. I had to make a note so I can come back to that.
Look at you. Here comes the book.
Okay. So anyway, so we decide, we're going to hook up. You know, it kind of sounds like a good thing because I'm like, I'm leaving in 3 weeks. I was like, I'm not going to fall in love with you. I'm not going to stay. I'm not, you know, like, this is very like cut and dry. Don't treat me like a piece of ass, like, you know, whatever. So bada bing, bada boom. As soon as he's, you know, bada bing, bada boom. All of a sudden,
bada bing, bada boom. Does this mean
bing,
like
boom.
bam, bam, pow, or pow, whatever
boom,
we said earlier?
Boom, boom,
boom,
pow.
boom, pow. Okay.
Yeah.
So there was some boom, boom, pow, which
boom,
is
boom, pow.
Totally different than kung pow. Okay. Yes.
Well, not, okay.
Yeah. Well, depends on the person. Okay, I got you.
So immediately after, he goes, well, my schedule's going to get really busy this week.
So got his.
And I'm like, okay, you know, whatever. But then at the same time, he was like, if you are sleeping with other people, like, can you let me know? I just want to make, like, he was actually also one of the ones that like did not throw a tantrum about like wearing a condom, like insisted upon it, was like, you know, and I was just like, oh, okay. The younger guys, they got some fucking manners. Okay.
Right.
Check.
Right. For
check
sure.
in this box. So we messaged a couple times the next couple days, and I just said, you know, our work schedules and the kid and everything. And I said, let me know about this weekend. Friday, don't hear from him. Saturday, don't hear from him. Sunday at 5 p.m. Hey, you. Honey, I'm almost 40. I just wrote back, hey. I'm like, okay, if this is what we're doing, you know, what's up? I'm at work. What time you done? This is like 2 hours later. Well, I'm done now, but I'm at dinner with my uncles for Father's Day.
Oh,
okay. Wow. And then like 2 days later, he wrote me back again. And I was like, yeah, no, this isn't going to work. Like, there's no effort. There's no communication.
Yes.
Like, I'm not here for you to say jump and I say how high.
Right.
So thanks.
Right.
But bye.
Right. And this was what, pretty much after he said how busy he was, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, here's my thing too. Like, where there's a will, there's a way. If it's important to you, if it's dating, if it's your relationship, if it's a friendship, like if it's important, you find a way. And if it's not, you find an excuse. And I was just like, okay.
Go back to riding the tricycle in the snow. Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't have the mental space for this right now. I'm moving in 3 weeks. So there was one final guy on the roster. He worked out of town. So we've kind of been like, you know, playing back and forth. He got into town. He got back into town. I still had plans for Saturday for him to meet me and some friends at the beach. Doesn't show up. Don't really hear from him until like 8 o'clock that night. I've been at the beach all day. I'm exhausted. I'm going to bed.
Sure. Right.
Make kind of plans for the next day. Young dude messages me. I'm just annoyed. I'm like, you know what? I think I'm done. I think I'm going to call this. Like, this isn't fun anymore. So I message this other guy, again, one of the older guys, and I say, hey, you know, I thought I could do this, but I'm moving in 3 weeks and I am just completely overwhelmed. And I really just want to spend this time with my friends before I go. Thank you for being so kind and understanding. I wish you all the best, you know, whatever. He writes back, so nice. If you need anything, let me know. I completely understand. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool. Go home, resting after work. This is at like noon. 7 o'clock that night, he sends me a text. And again, you can only see the last one he sent through. And he said, well, you can at least have these. Where I was living had these rocks that people went out, and I went hunting for them all the time. And he did. And so we were sending rock pictures back and forth for the couple of weeks. Like, hey, look at this one that I found. And so that's what I'm assuming when he says, well, at least you can have these. I'm assuming I'm about to get some like cool rock pictures. Dick pics, 2 of them.
No.
Different days, different settings. Looks very different. And I'm pretty sure I texted you, but I got so pissed. Like, I got angry, and my brother called, and I was talking to him about it, and finally came up to the conclusion that it's a consent thing. So if let's say we're walking down the road, and men, I hope you listen to this. We're walking down the road, and a guy whips out his dick with no context. You're going to feel offended.
Yeah.
You know, some chick walks up to you when you're laying on the grass in a park and hovers her vagina over you and you don't know her, you're gonna feel offended. Maybe. I don't know. Men are crazy. But
yeah, I would say excited. That would have been the adjective I'd have used there instead of offended. Depends, though. Depends. There's some will offend the hell out of you for sure.
Yeah. But, you know, same thing. Like, even if a guy is walking down the street and a guy whipped out his dick, you'd probably be like, what the fuck?
I would definitely be like, it's cold out, bro. You should put that away. Yeah,
you know?
I get it.
And so I was like, this is why this is pissing me off. Because I'm not asking for it. I'm not encouraging it. I'm just getting it slammed in my face. I'm like, again, not in a good way.
Not in a good way, yeah. But it goes back to something you said. I think it can, like, you articulated it well when we first started talking and when we first started talking, just in general, but on this episode too, is you wanted a friend with benefits, but you didn't want disrespected. Like, it seems like so many times when people are just hooking up, there's just, you know, look, there's nothing. I might be shunned for this. I don't know, but I don't think there's anything more fun than disrespectful sex, right? Doesn't mean there needs to be disrespectful communication. That's like, all right, here's where we're at. We are cool. There's consent. Everything's good. Let's just pretend like we hate each other and have the sex. But when there is communication about it, that's totally different. When they're like, and that's where the line gets blurred and guys screw it up.
And I felt like I was being, and I will say that, like, I felt like this is something I gained from taking that 3 months off, is my boundaries. Like, I came back being able, not as afraid of being rejected because of my boundaries.
Right.
Not as, and being like, literally like, no, this is what I want. This is what I will tolerate. And this is what I won't. And realizing too, that I was asking for the bare fucking minimum.
Yeah.
I'm not asking for fancy dates. I'm not asking for you to text me all day, every day. I'm not asking for good night and good morning texts. I am asking for making some plans and some basic communication, wearing a condom, and treating me outside the bedroom like I'm a fucking human being.
Right.
That your life and everything you're going through is not more important than mine. Like, treat me as an equal. Yeah. So I think, go ahead.
Well, no, what I say I love about that, and I know you're coming up on time, but what I love about that is you get to a certain point where you're not compromising your boundaries, and that speaks to a self-esteem thing. Like, people, you know, yourself possibly included, go through breakups. They go through relationships that end, whether they were the person that ended it or it happened to them. And the boundaries aren't there because they're just so excited about, oh my gosh, I get this attention. And then you find, like, all right, the attention isn't what I'm looking for. This, you know, you kind of isolate the people that you want to talk to, and then your boundaries come in. And when you don't compromise your boundaries, and you're like, you know, your self-worth, your self-esteem, all that comes into play, and it feels good. And that's like, that should be celebrated. That's big steps on this whole journey.
And while you're saying that, I just remembered another guy that had popped in over one weekend, and like same thing. He went straight for the dirty, and I said the same thing. And he was like, oh, okay, cool. And he would kind of like take it away from it for a few texts, and then it would come back. And I would have to like re-put it up. And then finally he was like, you know what, this isn't gonna work. Like I need, and I'm like, okay, bye. Like but I think for me, like the place that it got to, like after that, I was done. After those last 2 dick pics came in, I was like fucking out, because the first time you and I talked, we'd also talked about how there's something to be said for like what you're putting out is what you're getting back. And so I kind of sat with myself one day and I'm like, okay, where can I take some responsibility for this? What am I putting out that I'm getting back? And what came to me was like, you're not showing up for yourself. So why is anybody else going to show up for you?
Fair.
And I was like, fuck. Okay. So took it out, took myself out of it, moved, been here like 6 weeks. There was a big paddling competition, double hull canoes, 27 countries, a lot of it Polynesia. And let me just say, God bless Polynesian men. Thank you, God, creator, universe, for making them. Oh, anyway, so I was like, fuck it, I'm going to get back on the apps this weekend. If nothing else, just to window shop and just see what is, in town, and just be very grateful for God's creation. And I matched with a couple of guys, and one messaged me, and he was cute, and he was, he seemed nice and everything. And he said, how's your morning going? And I just went, I can't fucking do this.
And
I just deleted.
Don't care what state or what country or whatever they're in. It's still a form of good morning, right?
Yeah. I'm like, I can't. There's no part of me that wants to do this. And I think that's actually like an okay place to be. But I also feel, I'll try to like keep this part short, is also a really scary place in some ways, because I feel like talking to my girlfriends and going through all of this, we're all getting to this point of it's easier to just be alone.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, maybe scary is the wrong word. And I don't know. I don't want to speak for you. So if it is scary, it is scary. But I think once you have that, I'm more comfortable, like here in my own space, and I don't need anybody. The term I like to use is it's an unlock code. Like, it's a cheat code. It's like, I'm not here because I need somebody else with me. I'm here. I'm good. If somebody else shows up and they fit into the life that I want, awesome. But if they don't, the whole block thing works really well. Like, you just don't need it. You want it, you don't need it.
Yeah. I think I meant more in scary of like, it's a sign of the times. And it's like scary, like that's where our world is coming to, is that like women are choosing to be alone because the men in this world, again, I know that's a way broadcast term, aren't showing up as like any kind of partner, whether that's in a marriage or in a relationship or as a friend with benefits. And so my girlfriend and I had this conversation one night of like, if they don't make my life easier almost instantly in some way, like if having you in my life is causing me anything, like one guy I dated, and my friend pointed this out, and I didn't want to hear because I really liked him. And she was like, you sleep like shit whenever you hear from him.
Oh, wow.
This is interesting. Like he spins you up to the point that like you can't sleep. And so I feel like that's the thing, is it's like I'm becoming more okay being alone, and I'm enjoying it a lot more. I just wish like it didn't have to be this way.
You know what I wonder? And again, I know you got to go shortly, so just tell me, hey, bro, I got to go, and we'll cut it. I'm
just going to ghost you. I'm just going to end the call.
No, that's fair. That's not the first time it's happened to me. Is our relationships changing? Like, what we know of a relationship is the whole can the dynamic just entirely change to where it's almost like, I don't know, like almost like open relationships. I don't know what it looks like, but it's not as traditional as what we thought they were. And because of people screwing it up so much, or just not, people just not needing them the same way they needed to or used to. Yeah. So You can have that conversation with her and let me know what comes out. And I'm sure you and I will talk about it more.
Yeah. Yeah. I do think there's this like really big shift of like, I look back at, my marriage and my relationship and, yeah, I loved him or I wouldn't have married him and all of that jazz. But at the same time, like I just read an article about this. Like I did what I was supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
When I was a little girl, they didn't ask me what I wanted to be when I grew up. They asked me what kind of wedding I wanted to have.
Fair.
And so like I did the things. I found the guy. I bought the house. I got the dogs. I got married. I had the kid. I don't know how much of it was because it's actually what I wanted.
I have a friend of a friend who said, she said that you really don't know who you are until you go through a divorce, and then got to figure that out, who you are then. And then you figure out who you are. It's like, it's a lot of truth there, because your whole idealism is me and this other person, me as a wife, me as a mother, me as a somebody who's out working in the world. And then when that ends, it's like me as me. And that's just something that once you wrap your head around, which you're in the process of, it's a game changer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. My friend and I just had this conversation. We went through very similar situations, and she's one of the ones that I'm on this text thread that I'll send you some screenshots of when we get done here. I mean, I know you don't want to see the dick, so I won't send you those, but
not in my top 5. No. There's
we
the other
just
anatomy.
Oh my gosh.
Sure.
I wish we had more time, because there's actually really 2 funny like I don't want to say girl dick stories, but we'll have to say those for next time. Okay. I think I sent you one with the measuring tape that we started putting.
Yeah. That sounds familiar. Yeah. You're at least I have a barometer.
Yeah, like this, like at least like send us, a baseline.
Mm-hmm.
Shit, now I forgot what I was talking about. Oh, but she also started dating, so we were both dating at the same time this summer in the same town. So we'd send each other screenshots to him, be like, "Hey, are you talking to this guy?"
Yeah.
But anyway, she said the other night, she said this one guy started wanting to be more of a role of like getting serious and everything. And she said very directly, she goes, "No," she's like, "Dating is for me, not mom me, me. Mom me is going to stay separate."
That's cool.
And I feel very much the same way. Like when I went on dates and when I was doing the boom boom pow and whatever, that was me. It had nothing to do with my kid. It had nothing to do with me being a mom, except for the fact that there's some stretch marks on my stomach. Like, and I think that's the thing too, is being able to have that autonomy is really appealing to a lot of us now after being in marriages.
Yeah. Kind of here's me cutting loose and having fun. Here's me being a parent.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I don't think I've heard that, but I think it makes perfect sense to me.
Yeah.
It's a lot of trust to let somebody into your kid's life.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah. And my kid gets like attached very quickly to people. So
wow. Mama Bear's gonna have to protect. Yeah. You getting texts on your next one?
Yeah, but it's like I just thought it would be a couple months, because I really want to share the last penis thing.
Story that, because I don't want you to share any penis with me.
No, well, that's the thing too, is I'm like, you guys realize we just pass this shit around, right? Like we're ranking this, right?
That's I think episode 1 when I started, I'm like, that's what you do, that's what you should do.
Yeah, no, it's literally like, okay, here, rank this up. So I don't remember how me and my girlfriends even got talking about this one day. We were out on the boat together, and we were talking about like, can you imagine, how do we put this? Like, we were like, can you imagine if like women had dicks, like what we would do? And my one girlfriend was like, we would be so nice. We'd be like, oh my God, no, your dick's perfect. Like, you have such a great dick. Like, it is amazing. Your dick is beautiful. And then my other friend was like, fuck that. I'd walk in and be like, I got the biggest dick in the room. And so it just became this thing. Like, it was like, then we turned in this, like, all getting all of these dick pics into like, actually, I have the biggest dick. Or like, I have the best dick.
Based on the pics, right?
Like, this is what you got. Like, this is what happened to me from this.
I feel like that's like when you were a kid and you were watching whatever Saturday morning cartoons or whatever it was that you watched and the commercials would come on. You're like, Mom, I want that one. Mom, oh, that one's me. I'm that one. That feels like you guys were doing the same thing with the dicks.
It's like like a quiz in a magazine.
Yeah. Yeah.
What kind of dick would you be?
If you say curves, we're gonna have to have a conversation offline.
I was like grower, not a shower.
Yeah.
For everybody, I don't know. Like that could be another whole conversation.
Yeah,
because
if you start throwing in guys with boobs, I mean, a lot of guys have them, but so that's a different story, I guess, too. But then that's kind of their thing.
And that was the thing the young kid said when he said, like women only want to see a dick if it's coming at him, and he was like,
Sure.
dude, we'll look at boobs all the time.
Yeah,
you can send us a boob pic anytime. We're happy to see them. Women aren't like that.
well, yeah, it's like you were saying earlier about, let's just say, the flasher. If it's a guy flasher to a girl, different reaction than a girl flasher to a guy.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. And also, like, if you want to send me, if you got like a 6-pack of abs and you got the V that goes down to that little sweet spot and you want to send me pictures of that, absolutely. Hell yeah, I'm there for that all day long.
That's the part that I don't understand. Like, I like it's pretty common knowledge that a woman would rather see a guy in a suit than a dick pic, or what you're talking about, than a dick pic. So if you have that, why not share that with your chances of possibly having sex going way up instead of way down? But then again, it goes back to what we were talking about in the beginning. So many people talk about it and don't follow through with it.
Yeah, and I think that's why I entertained the multiples from Hot Josh, was because he had a great body, and I was like, okay, I'll look at it from here up.
Yeah,
I'll put my thumbs on the bottom of the screen. But
if you got an iPhone, you can just cut the picture. Like, you can just cut the picture and be good. Like, oh, that's a great picture since I cut out the dick.
Yeah. They cut out the mushroom staring at me. Yeah, and again, I wanted to take some accountability of what is my part in this? What am I putting out? Sure. And I will say that I even had this conversation with my ex-husband a few days ago of like, dating is such a great way of knowing what you still have to heal.
That's fair.
And knowing what still triggers you, what still, like I never felt like a priority in my relationship. So when I'm not getting treated as one, or my needs aren't being listened to, triggered, pissed off, fuck you.
That's the funny thing. Like, and by funny, I guess I mean that's the interesting thing, is
ironic funny.
Yeah, as you're going through all of this, it's all self-discovery. Like, it really is. Like, this isn't about, I mean, it's a little bit about what's coming in at you, the 12 pictures or things like that, but it's your reaction to them and what it triggers and what, you're seriously, it's like you're just volleying shit back and forth. But it's like, all right, so I'm not healed and this is what this triggered. And it's its own unique therapy session.
Yeah. And then also, like, what am I okay settling for that I don't necessarily like? Like, there was one final thing. There was a guy that I'd seen around town a few times, like, that I was just like, please.
Yeah.
And so it was, I think, when my last weekend's in town, second to last weekend, I think, I happened to be like right, and we parked our cars next to each other. And so when I came out of the bar with my friends, his car was still there. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. And so, like, I hand wrote a note with my phone number, left it on the car, whatever. Kind of same thing. Like, he texted, but then like he disappeared. And then like 2 weeks later, he was like, hey. And I was like, Coop? And he's like, yeah, what's up? And I was like, he's like, what are you doing tonight? And I was like, I'm doing this. And he goes, what about tomorrow? And I was like, I leave in 5 days.
Yeah.
But like, I'm glad that you thought after 2 weeks that you could just say jump and I'd say how high.
Yeah. Isn't that funny?
And there was part of me that was like, he's real hot. He'd be a really great ego boost.
Yeah.
But am I going to like myself if he says jump and I say how high?
I don't know. That's always your thing. Like you probably like I probably would like myself enough, you know, because I was going anyway, but I don't know. That's 2 weeks to sit on the number two is always a little tough.
Yeah.
I mean, he had it. I mean, why didn't he use it? But
And like that's my thing too. If it wasn't like my last weekend, you know, I probably maybe like would have allowed it. But it was like I was exhausted. I'm packing, I'm cleaning,
remember
I'm
that?
trying to go see everybody. Like, and I think that's my
Yeah.
thing too, is I got to the point where it was like my sleep is actually more important.
Yeah. 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 Because I mean, that was a lot. It wasn't a move. Like once moving from the two spots he did, boy, that was a lot to navigate. That was tough.
Yeah. So I think
But
that's
you
my
did
thing
it.
too, is it's like if you're gonna know, and I think that was something that got me about the guy that I had really liked, and it took a while to untangle from him, but that was one of my finally things that did was, you know what I'm going through. He was one of the
Yeah.
only people that I actually shared the whole story with, like I've shared with you, what like everything that was happening. You know what I'm going with, you know what stress I'm under, and you are choosing to not make any of this easier on me. You're
Yeah.
choosing to play games, you're choosing to be on it, like fuck you.
Yeah.
So
Makes
I
it
think
easy.
like that's the thing too right now, is it's like, but then again, like I actually have to have conversations with people to like get to that point. And right now, whenever it's any conversation starter, how's your morning? I'm like, nope.
That's that is the moving forward from where you were when you first got on the apps to where you are now. And the first on the apps, you're like, oh, my morning's going good. How's yours? Now you're like, I know how this goes. Take care of yourself.
I did have one guy ask me something that I really liked, and it said, what makes you really happy?
That's cool.
And I was like, oh, I really like that. And
It's a
then
good
I
start.
wrote back, and then I said, the ocean makes me really happy. What about you? And he said, if we have a sexual encounter. And I was like, and you lost me.
Like, and I would like the question I would have is, does that really work for you, bro? Does that work? I mean, what's the batting average when that happens? I don't know. Like, I'll never understand it. Maybe I have it wrong. Maybe it works a lot more than I think. But I'm not betting on that. Like, just based on all the conversations, it just like if he'd had the conversation and had better conversations, oh, that's cool. It makes you happy. You know, ocean, you know, where Hawaii, would you like the Caribbean? What do you like? I'm sure within a few days there'd have been a great date and disrespectful sex. You know? So, but instead it's take care of yourself, buddy.
Because here's the thing with, we'll end on this. Here's the thing with disrespectful sex. There has to be a baseline level of trust. And for there to be a baseline level of trust, there has to be a baseline of you actually give a shit about me as a human being.
Yeah. 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 Which
And so
doesn't
if
happen with
there's not
12 chicks.
that, then why would there be that other thing?
But even yes, period. I want to put the period. Like there's no but in there. I agree 100, 1,000%. Absolutely. I want to say though, any sex though, once you have that, it's going to be a little bit better.
Absolutely.
So it's got to be. It can't just be, yeah, that sounds fun, and then you're like, damn, what did I do?
Mutual.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Like you have to
All
know
right.
there's going to be a mutual benefit,
Yeah.
not just a one-sided
Well, sometimes,
accomplishment.
yeah, that's always a toss up too. Well, wait, 35 seconds? That was not a mutual benefit.
We texted for 4 days for that.
I know, right? Gosh, that's okay. That didn't work out so well.
You sent me 12 dick pics for that. Well, that like it got to that point too, is all this, stuff. And I later was just like, I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah.
Like that's what I was writing back. I was like, okay. Sure.
I just don't see how it helps anybody. Like, I don't see like, come on, man. Like, show up or go away, man. Jesus, it's that simple.
What's the
I'm
line
literally
from
saying I'll come to your house.
Zombieland? Nut up or shut up.
Oh, I like that. I
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I quote Zombieland like every day. It's one of my favorite movies, but
God. Boom, boom, pow, or whatever, and nut
boom,
up or
boom,
shut up.
pow.
Boom,
Yeah.
pow, nut like. I
Yeah.
mean,
I got a
these are
bunch of
going in
fun
my
ones. There's
arsenal.
like DJing.
Yeah. Oh, well,
Yeah.
that's this. Okay.
Yeah.
You did the with your tongue out on that too. It's like, she's a little backed up. I get it.
It's been another 90 days.
Oh, well, hopefully there'll be another Polynesian surf fest.
God bless Polynesia. Thank you, universe.
Thank you for being along for the ride on the Swipe Wrong podcast. The show is produced by Jay Pelham. You want to reach out to us? We want to hear your story. 317-426-6616. Make sure to text, leave a voicemail. We'll get back to you. Shoot us an email at swipewrongpod@gmail.com. We are on Facebook, Insta, Twitter, YouTube. We are definitely out there. I am the host of the show. My name is Chaos. And please make sure to take a listen to us next week because the saga, it continues.